Picture this. It is 3 in the morning. The infamous midnight zoomies have finally ended. You are peacefully dreaming, only to wake up to a strange, suspicious scratching sound coming from your bed. You reach out and oh no! Your hand hits a warm, wet spot on your favourite, ultra-expensive silk pillow. Your fluffy little angel is sitting there, looking at you with those huge, innocent eyes. Now, be honest. What is your first thought? Are you thinking, oh, this little monster is doing this out of spite because I bought the cheap pâté yesterday? Do you think your cat is just broken, or plotting a furry rebellion against you? Well, hold your horses, cat parents. What if I told you that your cat isn't evil but is actually screaming for help? Today we are going to uncover a massive secret. We are talking about feline cystitis, or urinary tract infections, and how you might accidentally be causing it. I promise, by the end of this video, you will completely change how you look at your cat's bathroom habits. But first, drop a comment down below right now. What is the name of your fluffy hooligan? And have they ever left you a surprise outside the litter box? Let's see who has the naughtiest kitty. Before we dive into the mistakes you might be making, let's take a quick trip back in time and look at the actual nature of our purring roommates. You see, domestic cats are descendants of desert-dwelling predators. Yes, your lazy couch potato who sleeps 18 hours a day and gets scared of cucumbers is basically a tiny lion from the dry, harsh desert. Because of this ancestry, cats are naturally terrible at drinking water. In the wild, they got almost all their moisture from the fresh prey they hunted. They also evolved to be masters of disguise when it comes to pain. In the wild, if you show weakness, you become someone else's dinner. So, your cat is hardwired to hide any discomfort until it becomes absolutely unbearable. When you combine a naturally dehydrated animal with a stoic pain hider, you get a creature that is highly susceptible to urinary issues like cystitis. Cystitis simply means inflammation of the bladder, and it is incredibly painful. But because they can't send you a text message saying, "Hey human, it hurts when I pee," they have to show you through their behavior. Now that we understand our desert ninjas a bit better, let's look at the daily things we do that can push their fragile little bladders over the edge. Let's kick things off with the absolute holy grail of cat existence, the litter box. You see, we humans think we are providing a luxurious private bathroom for our furry overlords. But if you are not scooping that box every single day, you are practically begging for trouble. Imagine if you had to use a porta potty that hasn't been cleaned in a week. Gross, right? Well, your cat's nose is roughly 14 times more sensitive than yours. To them, a slightly dirty litter box smells like an absolute biohazard zone. So, what does a self-respecting kitty do? They hold it in. They hold their pee for as long as physically possible, just to avoid stepping into that stinky sand. And guess what holding urine does? It concentrates the minerals in their bladder, creates a breeding ground for bacteria, and boom, welcome to the painful world of feline idiopathic cystitis. You might think your cat is just being a diva when they stand on the edge of the box and meow aggressively at you. But they are actually giving you a 1-star Yelp review for your bathroom maintenance skills. If you are slacking on scooping, the stress of a dirty toilet is the #1 fast track to a urinary tract infection. Grab that scoop and clean it up. Now, let's talk about the design of this so-called bathroom. A lot of cat parents love covered litter boxes. I get it. They look like cute little alien spaceships. They hide the unsightly mess, and they keep the smell locked inside. But wait, read that last part again. Keep the smell locked inside. If you think the smell is bad on the outside, imagine crawling into an enclosed plastic dome filled with your own concentrated ammonia. It is essentially a gas chamber for your poor cat. Beyond the horrific smell, covered boxes trigger a deep, primal fear in our little predators. Cats want to feel safe while they are doing their business, which means they need to see their surroundings to watch out for potential threats. When they are trapped inside a dark, enclosed box with only one exit, they feel incredibly vulnerable. This daily spike in anxiety every time they need to pee causes a massive release of stress hormones in their tiny bodies. Over time, chronic stress is a leading trigger for urinary inflammation. Your cat might start avoiding the box entirely, opting for your nice open-concept bathtub instead. So, pop the roof of that box and let your kitty pee with a view. Moving on to what goes inside the box. Have you ever walked down the pet aisle and thought, "Oh, lavender breeze-scented litter? That sounds delightful." Stop right there. Put the scented litter down and slowly back away. While a floral-scented bathroom might appeal to our human sensibilities, to a cat, it is an absolute nightmare. Remember that super-powered feline nose we talked about? To them, that lavender breeze smells like someone sprayed cheap, overpowering perfume directly into their nostrils while they are trying to focus on a very private task. It is overwhelming, unnatural, and deeply stressful. Cats navigate their world through scent, and they need their bathroom to smell like, well, them. When you mask their natural scent with artificial chemicals, it confuses and distresses them. This stress, again, leads to them holding their urine or finding somewhere else to go, like that pile of clean laundry you just folded. Unscented, soft, clumping clay litter is usually the gold standard. Don't force your cat to endure a chemical warfare zone every time nature calls, or their bladder will definitely pay the ultimate price. Where exactly is your cat's litter box located? If you placed it next to the loud, rumbling washing machine, or in the busy hallway where the kids are constantly running by, you are committing a major feline felony. Imagine trying to read a magazine on the toilet while a rock concert is happening right outside the door, and occasionally someone opens the door to shout at you. You probably wouldn't be able to go. Cats require peace, quiet, and privacy for their bathroom rituals. If the washing machine suddenly goes into a crazy spin cycle while Mr. Whiskers is doing his business, he might associate the litter box with pure terror. From that moment on, the litter box becomes a haunted house in his mind. This fear leads to, you guessed it, holding in urine and massive psychological stress, both of which are VIP tickets to Cystitis town. The litter box needs to be in a quiet, low-traffic area of the house, where your cat can have a zen-like experience. If they feel like they are constantly on high alert, their bladder muscles literally tense up, causing a whole cascade of painful urinary problems. Let's talk about multi-cat households. If you have more than one purring machine in your home, you absolutely must know the golden rule of litter boxes. It is called the N+1 rule. If you have 2 cats, you need 3 litter boxes. If you have 3 cats, you need 4. Are you forcing your 2 cats to share one single tiny box? That is a recipe for absolute disaster and severe medical bills. Cats are extremely territorial creatures. Even if they snuggle together on the sofa and groom each other, the bathroom is a completely different story. It is a prime piece of real estate. Often, one cat will silently claim the box and subtly bully the other cat out of using it. You might not even notice it. It can be just a hard stare from across the room that says, "Don't even think about stepping in there, buddy." The bullied cat becomes terrified to use the box, holds their pee, and eventually develops a nasty urinary infection due to the constant intimidation and stress. Providing multiple boxes in different locations prevents resource guarding and ensures everyone can pee in peace without starting a feline world war. Now, let's step out of the bathroom and into the kitchen. What are you feeding your tiny tiger? If your cat's diet consists 100% of dry kibble, you need to listen very closely. Remember how we said cats are desert animals? In the wild, a mouse is about 70 to 80% water. A piece of dry kibble is about 10% water. Cats naturally have a very low thirst drive because their bodies expect to get hydration from their food. When you feed them only dry food, they exist in a constant state of mild dehydration. They simply will not walk over to a water bowl and drink enough to make up for the lack of moisture in the kibble. This chronic dehydration means they produce very little, highly concentrated urine. It sits in the bladder like a thick, mineral-rich soup, which perfectly sets the stage for painful crystals, stones, and severe cystitis. Adding wet food to their daily routine is not just a treat, it is a vital medical necessity to flush out their urinary tract. Think of wet food as a delicious, meaty water balloon that keeps their bladder perfectly flushed and healthy. Speaking of water, where is your cat's water bowl right now? Is it sitting right next to their food bowl? If so, you are unknowingly triggering a survival instinct that dates back thousands of years. In the wild, predators know that if a water source is right next to a dead animal, their fresh kill, that water might be contaminated with dangerous bacteria. Even though your cat's kill is just a bowl of tuna-flavored pâté, their ancient DNA tells them that the water next to it is dirty and unsafe to drink. So, what do? They ignore the water bowl completely and go drink out of your toilet, or they just don't drink at all. This lack of hydration, as we now know, leads straight to concentrated urine and bladder inflammation. By simply moving the water bowl across the room or into a completely different room, you will likely see your cat drinking significantly more water. It seems like such a silly, tiny detail to us humans, but to a cat, separating the food and water is the difference between a suspicious puddle and a safe, refreshing oasis. Hydration is the ultimate enemy of cystitis, so make drinking easy for them. While we are on the topic of water, let's talk about the bowl itself. Are you serving your cat water in a deep, narrow bowl? Does the water just sit there for days, getting warm and collecting dust? Cats absolutely hate stagnant water. In nature, still water is often stagnant and full of parasites, while running water from a stream is fresh and clean. Your cat's instincts are telling them that the bowl of still water you provided is basically a puddle of doom. Furthermore, cats have extremely sensitive whiskers. If the bowl is too deep and narrow, their whiskers touch the sides every time they take a sip. This causes a phenomenon known as whisker fatigue, which is genuinely painful and annoying for them. So, they avoid the bowl, dehydrate themselves, and set themselves up for urinary tract infections. Investing in a wide, shallow ceramic bowl, or even better, a pet water fountain, can literally save your cat's life. The move in water fascinates them, sounds appealing, and signals that it is safe to drink. The more they drink, the healthier their bladder stays. It is a simple upgrade with massive health benefits. Let's shift gears to the biggest silent killer of feline urinary health: stress. Feline idiopathic cystitis, or FIC, is one of the most common causes of urinary issues, and idiopathic basically means the vet has no idea what caused it biologically. But almost every time, the root cause is acknowledging stress. Cats are absolute control freaks. They love routine, predictability, and knowing exactly what is going to happen and when. When we disrupt their routine, their tiny minds absolutely freak out. Did you recently move the sofa to the other side of the living room? Did you change your work schedule? Did you host a loud dinner party? To you, it's just normal human life. To your cat, it is the apocalypse. When a cat is stressed, their body releases hormones that directly affect the protective lining of their bladder, causing it to become inflamed and start bleeding. Yes, your cat can literally get a bloody bladder just because you decided to rearrange the bedroom furniture. Keeping a stable routine or introducing changes very slowly is absolutely crucial for keeping your cat's stress levels low and their urinary tract healthy. Let's dive deeper into the stress factor. Have you recently brought home a new puppy, adopted another cat, or even had a human baby? Congratulations! Your cat probably hates it. We often think that getting our cat a friend is a great idea. We envision them cuddling and playing all day. But in reality, introducing a new living, breathing creature into a cat's territory without a slow, meticulous introduction is like locking a stranger in your bedroom and expecting you to be best friends immediately. The original cat feels an intense loss of territory and resources. They start constantly scanning the room for threats, living in a permanent state of fight or flight. This extreme territorial anxiety is a massive trigger for stress-induced cystitis. They might start peeing on your clothes or the baby's blanket, not because they are angry or vengeful, but because they are desperately trying to mix their scent with yours to feel safe again. If you're introducing new family members, you must do it gradually, offering plenty of safe spaces, or you will be dealing with a very stressed out, medically compromised kitty. One of the most heartbreaking mistakes cat parents make is how they react when an accident happens. Let's say you find a puddle of pee on the living room rug. What is your reaction? Do you yell? Do you spray them with water? Do you rub their nose in it like people used to do with dogs in the 1950s? If you punish your cat for peeing outside the box, you are making a massive, terrible mistake. Cats do not understand punishment after the fact. They don't associate your yelling with the puddle on the floor. All they learn is that you are an unpredictable, aggressive monster who yells for no reason. This destroys the bond of trust between you. Worse, if they already have cystitis and are peeing on the rug because it hurts to use the litter box, your punishment just adds extreme fear to their physical pain. The stress from your anger will literally make the bladder inflammation significantly worse. If your cat pees outside the box, take a deep breath, clean it with an enzyme cleaner and call the vet immediately. They need medical help, not a scolding from their favorite human. Let's talk about the chonk factor. We all love a fluffy, chubby cat. The internet is full of adorable memes of fat cats looking like fluffy baked potatoes. But feline obesity is not cute. It is a severe health hazard that directly contributes to urinary tract infections. When a cat is overweight, they become lethargic. It takes a lot of effort for them to haul all that extra weight across the house, hop over the edge of the litter box and do their business. So, what happens? They become lazy peers. They will hold their urine much longer than a fit cat simply because they don't want to make the journey to the bathroom. Just like we discussed earlier, urine that sits in the bladder for long periods becomes concentrated, forming painful crystals that scrape against the bladder walls. Furthermore, overweight cats often have a harder time grooming themselves properly, especially their lower half, which can lead to bacterial infections traveling up into the urinary tract. Putting your cat on a healthy diet and getting them active isn't just about their waistline. It is about saving them from agonizing urinary pain. Are you ignoring the subtle, sneaky warning signs your cat is giving you? Cats are masters of subtlety. Before they ever pee on your bed, they will give you hints that something is wrong in the bathroom. Have you noticed your cat making multiple trips to the litter box in a short amount of time? Do they go in, dig around for 5 minutes, squat, and then leave without actually doing anything? Or maybe the clumps you are scooping out have suddenly become the size of a tiny grape instead of a normal tennis ball. Many owners see this and think, oh, he's just playing in the sand. Or they just don't notice the size of the clumps at all. This is a critical mistake. Frequent trips to the box with little or no urine produced is the absolute classic #1 sign of cystitis or a urinary blockage. The inflammation makes them feel like they desperately need to pee, even when their bladder is empty. If you ignore these early warning signs, a simple inflammation can turn into a complete, life-threatening urinary blockage in a matter of hours. You must become a litter box detective. Here is a myth that needs to be destroyed right now: the revenge pee. I hear this from cat owners all the time. I went away for the weekend and my cat peed in my suitcase to punish me. Or, I didn't let him eat my houseplant, so he peed on my shoes out of spite. Listen to me carefully. Cats do not have the cognitive ability to plot revenge. They are not tiny, furry supervillains. When a cat pees on your belongings, they are doing it because your scent comforts them when they are highly stressed. If you went away for the weekend, they experienced separation anxiety. Your suitcase smells intensely like you. Peeing on it is their weird, confusing way of mixing their scent with yours to soothe their panic. Or, if they have cystitis and the litter box hurts, they look for soft, absorbent places to pee, like your shoes or your bed, hoping it won't hurt as much. Believing the revenge myth prevents owners from seeing the real issue, stress or a medical emergency. Stop taking it personally and start looking for the real reason your cat is crying out for help. Let's discuss the environment inside your home. Do you have a boring house? I don't mean aesthetically, I mean from a cat's perspective. If your cat doesn't have vertical spaces, like cat trees or shelves, and they don't have safe, dark hiding spots, they are living in a stressful environment. Cats need to be able to survey their territory from up high. It makes them feel confident and safe. If they are forced to live their entire lives on the floor, dodging human feet, vacuum cleaners, and dogs, they feel completely out of control. This lack of environmental enrichment leads to chronic boredom and severe anxiety. And as we have firmly established by now, chronic anxiety is a direct path to idiopathic cystitis. A bored cat is a stressed cat. You need to provide them with high resting places where they can escape the chaos of the household. A confident cat who feels ownership of their vertical space is far less likely to develop stress-related bladder issues. So, buy that ugly carpeted cat tree. Your cat's urinary tract depends on it. How much time do you actually spend playing with your cat? And no, pointing a laser pointer at the wall while you scroll through your phone doesn't count. Cats have natural hunting instincts that need to be satisfied daily. If they don't get to stalk, pounce, and kill their toys, that pent-up predatory energy turns inward and manifests as extreme stress and frustration. Imagine drinking 3 cups of espresso and then being forced to sit perfectly still in an empty room for 8 hours. You would lose your mind. That is exactly how an understimulated cat feels. This frustration triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone, which wreaks havoc on their delicate bladder lining. Interactive play with a wand toy for just 15 minutes a day completely changes their brain chemistry. It releases happy hormones, tires them out, and builds their confidence. A tired, satisfied hunter is a relaxed cat, and a relaxed cat doesn't get stress-induced cystitis. Grab a feather wand and let your little tiger hunt. What is happening right outside your windows? You might think your indoor cat is perfectly safe from the outside world, but to them, the window is a giant, stressful television screen. If there are neighborhood stray cats, raccoons, or even large birds roaming around your yard, your indoor cat might be experiencing severe territorial stress. They can see and smell these intruders through the glass, but they can't defend their territory. This causes immense frustration and anxiety. They might start pacing the windows, vocalizing aggressively, and eventually, the stress boils over into a bout of cystitis. They might even start peeing near the doors or windows to mark their territory and warn the outdoor cats to stay away. If you notice your cat getting overly agitated by what is outside, you need to intervene. You might need to put up opaque window film on the lower half of the glass or use motion-activated sprinklers to keep stray cats out of your yard. Protecting their visual territory is key to keeping their bladder calm. Another massive mistake is playing Dr. Google instead of going to the actual vet. When an owner finally realizes their cat has a urinary issue, some try to fix it at home. They read a blog post that says to feed the cat cranberries or give them apple cider vinegar. Please, do not do this. Feline cystitis is a complex medical condition. If your cat has a bacterial infection, they need antibiotics. If they have crystals, they need a prescription diet to dissolve them. If you try to treat it with random home remedies, you are allowing the condition to worsen, causing your cat excruciating pain. Even worse, if it is a male cat, the inflammation can cause mucus and crystals to form a literal plug in their narrow urethra. This is a complete urinary blockage, and it is a fatal medical emergency. If a cat cannot pass urine, the toxins back up into their kidneys, and they can die within 24 to 48 hours. The moment you see your cat struggling in the box or peeing blood, close the laptop, put down the cranberry juice, and rush them to the emergency vet. Let's talk about the aftermath of a vet visit. Let's say you did the right thing, took them to the vet, and got a diagnosis of cystitis. The vet gives you medication and maybe prescribes a special urinary diet. The mistake happens a few weeks later. Your cat seems completely fine, so you think, great, he's cured. I'll stop the expensive diet and go back to the cheap supermarket kibble. Boom! A month later, the cystitis is back, and it is worse than ever. Managing feline urinary health is often a lifelong commitment. Those prescription diets are scientifically formulated to keep the urine's pH at a specific level, preventing the formation of new crystals. If you take them off the diet, the environment in the bladder goes back to being a crystal-making factory. You cannot just treat cystitis once and forget about it. You have to permanently change your lifestyle. Keep the wet food flowing, keep the stress low, maintain immaculate litter boxes, and stick to the vet's dietary recommendations. Consistency is the only way to keep the urinary demons away for good. Finally, the ultimate mistake is not realizing how deeply interconnected your cat's physical health is with their emotional well-being. We tend to separate the two, thinking a physical illness needs only a physical cure. But in the world of cats, the mind and the bladder are basically best friends holding hands. You can feed them the most expensive urinary prescription food in the world, but if your house is chaotic, their litter box is filthy, and they are constantly stressed by a barking dog, they will still get cystitis. You have to treat the whole cat. Think of yourself as a feline architect. Your job is to design an environment that makes them feel like a confident, hydrated, relaxed apex predator. Give them fresh running water, respect their boundaries, play with them daily, and keep their bathroom cleaner than your own. When you understand how fragile and sensitive their little bodies and minds really are, you stop seeing their bad behavior as an annoyance and start seeing it as a delicate language you finally know how to translate. And there you have it, fellow cat parents. The mystery of the litter box protests and the painful reality of feline cystitis finally decoded. Now you know exactly what is going on inside that beautiful, furry and surprisingly anxious little head. Remember, they aren't peeing on your rug to ruin your day. They are doing it because they are in pain, stressed out, or desperately trying to tell you that their bathroom smells like a toxic wasteland. Despite all the drama, the shredded curtains and the occasional wet surprise, we wouldn't trade our purring companions for anything in the world. We love them, and it is our job to protect their physical and mental health. If this video helped you understand your tiny tiger a little better, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with every cat owner you know. You might just save a kitty's life. Now, for our final question of the day. Does your cat prefer drinking from a fancy pet fountain, or are they a total weirdo who only drinks from your water glass? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.